Howdy folks, welcome back to 59 Arc. We are back in Put-in-Bay, Ohio today. We are in the middle of, well, not in the middle of Lake Erie, but in the middle of the western side of Lake Erie. And we're going to continue our flight, and we're going to land at Coleman Municipal Airport, which is in Detroit, Michigan. We're not going to land at the big airport there, but we're going to land in Detroit, in a smaller airport. Real world weather's turned on, if you can tell from the haze just off the airfield there. So hopefully we'll be able to see where we're going, because I am planning on doing VFR. But I have exciting news today. I finally purchased a Navigraph subscription, so my nav data is current. I just have to remember to update it every month. I don't think it updates automatically, but I'm going to try for a year, and if I enjoy it, I'll keep subscribing. If not, I'll just use whatever I end up with next year and use that for another 6 years and then update it again. Because the problem I was having, all these flights I was planning, more and more waypoints and things weren't in my nav data, obviously, because it was so old. So I've updated that. I figured they don't have the one-off thing anymore where you used to be able to just buy it one-off whenever. You have to do a year subscription or a monthly full subscription. So I did the year subscription just for the nav data. And when you split it up, you have to pay for a year at a time. But if you break it down by month, it's like $2.50 a month. I'm like, you know what? My wife spends more than that a day at McDonald's every day, and I don't. So I can spend $2.50 a month on nav data for flight sim without feeling terribly guilty about it. I'm very bad about spending money on myself, but I can handle it. So we now have the new updated data. So what do we got? We got real world weather turned on. We have time is 5:45 in the sim right now. Hopefully we'll be taking off by 6 p.m. We're just going to fly north towards Detroit. I want to see how it's modeled in the sim. It's default autogen, default scenery. I want to make a quick note in this video about Flight Simulator 2020. I've finally been watching some videos on that, and I'm starting to be convinced that's something I plan on trying once it's released, and it'll be featured here on the channel along with thousands of other Flight Sim channels. I'm not claiming to be unique, but I was avoiding the Flight Sim 2020. I'm like, I'm an X-Plane guy. The Flight Sim 2020 is just all eye candy and hype, and is not going to deliver. But the people I trust, the YouTubers I trust, are saying it is actually going to be the real deal. So I'm talking about that in this video, because I'm not going to make my own separate Flight Sim 2020 video. Maybe when it gets closer, but we'll see. But at this point in time, it is on my radar. See what I did there? To take a look at that when the time comes. So obviously won't be invited to any events. I don't even have 1,000 subscribers. People don't even know I exist except you all, so thank you for watching. But without further ado, let's hop in this thing. First time we've flown this in X-Plane 11.36, so we'll see how it goes, see if there's any idiosyncrasies or nuances that hang me up, but hopefully it'll be okay. And let's see, looking at my notes, anything else? Yes, we are going to try a GPS approach, instrument approach, using the built-in GPS instead of doing it manually, now that I have the new nav data, just to see if it will cooperate with me. If not, we'll land visually, because our flight is VFR up to that point. I just want to try it. So what do we need to do? We need to spin around this way, and we need to do our weight and people. So we have a lot of people with us today. I've gained a little bit of weight. I'm up to 210, but I'm 6'4", so I'm a fit 210. Don't worry, I'm not I don't have any health issues in the foreseeable future. I say that because I'm finding there are more health issues in my family than I realized. Why you need to know that, you don't, but there you go. If you're new to the channel, welcome to 50 Nautical Mile Arc, where it's not all things flight sim. So there we go, 210. I gained a couple pounds. We're gonna bring who are we gonna bring with us today? We are going to bring my college friend and her 2 crazy children. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. And we forgot to bring water. Okay, there we go. Well, tanks are that's way more fuel than we need, but we'll keep it that way. How do I get rid of this thing? There we go. What do we need? We need to make sure the parking brake is set. So I think if I come down here, no, that's flap lever. Where's parking brake on this? There it is, down there. Parking brake is set. Controls are all to idle. My rudders work. I do not have to reset them after the sim resets anymore. At least I haven't had to 11.36, which is great. battery on. That's this one on the left. Check the fuel gauges. They're up here, half tank, like I said. Announce here low voltage lights should all be on and all that up here, and they are just for now. And let me turn the battery off. Okay, the battery is all good. Trim to neutral, which it isn't. Can I? Okay, it's way faster to do this than it is in my yoke in this airplane. It changes from airplane to airplane. Recharge battery. We don't need to because we haven't flown yet today, but we can check it here. Yes, battery's good. No vapor lock because we haven't flown yet, so nothing to worry about there. Sparkle following is fine. To clear idle high lean mixture, you don't need to worry about that. Auto switch fuel tanks, that should be default now. Yes, auto switch again. If you're not familiar with that, it's because in real life, well, in the sim 2, the fuel's in the wings, and if you only use one side, it's going to get lopsided in weight. But the sim, because there's so much to do when you're in a sim, there's so many complicated views, and you don't have peripheral vision, and you're using the mouse, and you don't have the tactile feel like you would in the real plane. The simulator does the fuel switching for us. Otherwise, we just have to jump down here every 12 to 28 minutes, depending who you talk to, and switch tanks. All right, let's hop outside here and close the baggage door. And we'll do the pass through from inside. Chocks, as soon as you hit that battery button, the chocks remove themselves in these newer versions of the aircraft. This is fully updated, by the way. In the old version, you had to do this yourself, but now it does it on its own as soon as you do battery. Because I guess you would probably remove chocks before you got in and did the battery. So maybe I'll put that higher up on my checklist. In fact, I'm going to make a note of that right now. It's just this, back in the original version of this. So remove chalk should be right when you get in. Remove chalk should be right as you're getting in with all the people and do the fuel, right? Actually, so let's put it after you do the people and fuel, because you get your passengers in, you'll do your fuel, and then you'll check your fuel, and then you remove chocks. You wouldn't be putting in fuel because there's no fuel at this part of the airport. Alrighty, close the main door and latch. Let's do, I think it's here, and there we go. That worked. And latch it up here. There we go. Here's your dome light. It's really cool. Where am I? My nice large print fonts. I don't miss as many things. Left fuel tank, or fuel tank to left. There we go. Props forward. Where's my thing? Props forward. Throttle. A quarter. Alt air closed. It is. Confirm avionics are off. They are. Turn the battery on. We have to come over here for the battery. Nav and rotational beacons on. Fuel pump on. Mixture rich. Confirm fuel flow on the, what is it? On the fuel gauge left of RPM. Yep, that's that F. That's manifold pressure. That's fuel. And it went way up there, so it's working. And for the turbo version, we clear, or we do the primer, but we don't have the turbo version today. Clear prop. And here we go. You just flick it and go. People complain it's too easy to start this, but we're not gonna have that argument. This is a simulator. We get what the simulator throws at us. Sync the gyros. Let's see if they move. Watch this guy right here. Boom. See, sync the gyros, just like you would in real life. Confirm oil pressure and temps are rising. We could sit here all day. Pressure's in the green. Oil is in the green. We are good. Oil temp will come up a little bit too. Alrighty, come over here and turn the alt switch to on. Confirm the lights are out on top, and they are. And I see another typo in my checklist of googly gook stuff. My cat must have walked on the keyboard when I was writing my checklist. Next page. You can hear my pages turn here. Throttles, 1400 to 1500. Bring this back. Throttles, 1400 to 1500. Confirm gyro suctions between 4 and 5, and it is right there. Lean mixture to avoid spark plug fouling. Don't cut it off. There we go. Here it died down a little bit. Now we can turn everything on. I was already on. I failed to check to make sure they were off. I just looked at the GPS. We're not really using any of these, but we're going to turn them on anyway because we can. And this will put on standby. All right, let's see here. Fuel tank, check the fuel tanks. Hey, it didn't die on us this time. Good. And sync the gyros again. We already did that. Altimeter and barometer. Yes, we do. Oh, this is new in an update. That digital clock, like that. Or maybe that's an X-plane thing. We'll have to see if it changes in all the aircraft. Altimeter barometer. Pretty straightforward. So you can see where we are. So basically, we're here, and we're just going to go into this mess somewhere. That's what we're doing. Previously, we flew from here, Elyria to here. Now we're going to fly from there to there. Still about the same distance as last time. So I'm going to keep as much sightseeing as usual, though, so it's still going to be a long video. All right, let's see here. Altimeter 2988. 2 what? Oh, the units are backwards. Hang on. Where is it? There we go. 29er. Let's zoom in. Whoops. Whoopsie doopsie. 29er88. 29er88 would be there. What do we got? Wind line variable, so we can just take any wind line we want. So that brings up something I was going to talk about with airplanes is right now I have pretty much the full startup, takeoff, and then we do sightseeing. I do a little bit of talking in the middle, then sightseeing, and then we land, right? With a full landing, most of the descent, but full landing process. Would you like to see more complete flights? They might have to be split up into 2 videos. Most of them would probably. But would you like to see start to finish where I don't cut out a bunch? You actually get to see all the sightseeing. It doesn't mean I want to talk the whole time, obviously, but I keep in like all the sightseeing, or almost all the sightseeing, instead of cut it out. So like, for example, if we have an hour-and-a-half flight time, you know, that's, let's say 15-20 minutes on the front and back for, you know, startup and descent and shutdown, but an hour 20 minute flight time, do you want to see an hour and 20 minutes of sightseeing? Because right now I cut it down to like 5 minutes. So like we'll be in the air for an hour and you see 5 minutes of it. Let me know what you think. Short GA flights, I do plan on doing more complete flights. So for example, if it's a 10-minute flight, but then with prep and landing, it could just be one long video or 2 short videos, but it'll still be short GA. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I know a lot of other YouTube channels, it's just like half an hour startup process. You get 1 minute of flight time and then 20-minute descent and shutdown process. And there's like no flight time, but maybe people don't want to see the flight. I don't know. You tell me. I mean, ultimately I'll do what I want, but I just want to know what you are thinking. Now I'm getting close to 1,000 subs. I want to be more inclusive in what people want to see. I also want more subscriber requests. I haven't been getting many. I got a whole bunch at one time. I got like 20 at once. I've gone through all those, haven't had any since. So, granted, I haven't been flying, but I am now. So if you have any flight ideas, let me know. It's not that I'm out of ideas. I just want to be more inclusive, right? If you have an airport where you live and no one flies there because no one knows it exists, I want to fly there. That's what this channel is. General aviation, small flights in weird places. That's what this is. Okay, so altimeter barometer, flight plan. We don't have one, but we are going to put in a destination. I guess we technically would then. Nav date out of date. It is not. It is current. And I double checked before I started that it's correct. Right? Weird. Okay, I guess I'll be going to the forums myself, unless I figure it out before I edit this. All right, flight plan, kind of, sort of, I guess. There really isn't a flight plan to delete, but let's just get that out of there. There we go. That's where we are now. You do this, and then you do this, and then you do this. Okay, so we're going to KDET, Kilo Delta Echo Tango. Let me just do this with you instead of editing this out like I normally do, because there's only 4 quick letters. There's only one place. Where are you? There we go. Enter, accept. It's such a very short flight. Let's just load an approach right now. Weather doesn't seem to matter. That's why I'm doing this now. So let's see. We're going to be heading north-ish. So let's do... Gosh, we do an ILS. I usually always do GPS approaches. I haven't done an ILS approach in a bazillion years. I don't know the ILS frequency. Let's do a GPS approach. Let's do 33 so we can fly straight in from where we are now, since weather doesn't matter. We don't have air traffic control to tell us which way to go or what one way they're using. So let's do this one. Okay, so this is where I have to pull up the charts, and again, it has to be on my phone, because if I jump out of the recording, it's gonna be a problem. All right, so let's see here. We loaded the GPS approach. We chose Obzav, and there's a hold in there, so we skipped it, and we're supposed to be going direct to Obzav. I don't know why it keeps going back to hold, but it should be there once we get in the airplane. Otherwise, what's going to happen? See, it's going to go to Obzav, and it's going to make us go in this holding pattern. We don't want to do that. We want to go beyond that and land. Let's see. That is it. CDI to GPS. We're not going to get much above 3,000 feet because that's what we want to enter the pattern at, or enter the approach at. We may or may not use autopilot. There's no taxi lights in this, so we are going to start our taxi. And where are we going to go? We're just going to turn around and back taxi and just take off on any runway because there's no weather, really. Rural weather is turned on, but there's nothing to worry about. We won't back taxi. We'll go that way. All right, so here we go. Parking brake off. And let's start our turn. We will do a run up today because we haven't done a run up in many months. There we go. Reading my checklist while I taxi, which is not a good idea because then you don't go where you intend to go. But I'll stick with you here though. For this taxi, since it's so short, we're just on a little island on the west side of Lake Erie. And Canada is northeast of us. Detroit is northwest. Ohio is southeast. That's where we are. Alrighty, let's see if these brakes are crazy or not here. Yeah, they're kind of crazy. Alright, let's pull off to the side. Normally you'd face into the wind, but we don't have wind at the moment. So let's just stop right here. Stop. Don't go over that line with the wing. Hit the parking brake, and let's do our run up. So we're going to hop inside. Parking brake is set. Props full forward. Mixture forward. Throttle to 2,000 RPMs. Come on. Here we go. I think I have to be careful because I think it goes to the parking brake. It used to. Meg left, Meg right. No, drop yet this thing. So we're going to go left or right. Notice the drop back to both. Left. Notice the drop. Come back to both. Confirm gyro suction. There it is. Oil temp, oil pressure, oil temp and oil pressure. And the altimeter and amps. Wait, those lights are off, but is there a thing down here? I thought there was a thing down here for that. I guess not. I'm thinking of something else. Okay. Press to test annunciator lights. Is it this one? Yep. Lights came on. Mixture rich still. Props back. Props forward. Props back. Props forward. Note drop. In RPM. Yeah. It says here you do it twice. I can't explain why. I just follow the instructions. Back to forward. Alt air open. And alt air closed. Wait, I'll open and then confirm manifold pressure. Okay. Make sure it doesn't drop. So it's at 15. Let's bring this back and make sure it's still at 15. And it is. Fuel pump off. Confirm fuel pressure is still green. It is. Alright. Doesn't tell me to turn it back on though. Is that later in the checklist? Hang on. Before takeoff. I don't have it to tell it back to turn back on. Okay. I have been told you need it on because it's a low wing aircraft. You got to pump the fuel up instead of gravity like a high wing, but I know there's some low wing that you don't need it, so I don't know. Fuel pump off. I'm going to turn it back on. I'm going to make a note. Turn it back on. Confirm. Fuel pump on. Throttle to idle, confirm smooth idle. This is where it dies. Oh no, it's going to stay running. Nice. Okay, good. I'll give a little bit more juice there. Okay. Oh, there's my fuel pump on note. Okay, hang on. I just got ahead of myself. Of course. Okay. That means the run-up is complete. So here we go. Battery and alt switches to on, and they are. Fuel pump on, and it is. Alt air to closed, and it is. Props and mixtures full forward, and they are. Megs on both, and they are. Flaps 10 degrees. Landing lights can come on. Trim in the middle, it is. Confirm the doors latched in both places, and it is. Does our dome light work? It does. Just think that's fun to play with. Oh, that spins all the way around. Almost, okay. Pitot heat on, which is over here somewhere. And heading bug once we are out on the runway. Oh, then why take that? Let's put that back in. All right, let's stay inside for this part of the taxi. So here we go. Moving along onto the runway now. I know this is a long startup, but to be honest, for me, most of the fun is in the buttons and things, and the climb out and the descent and the landing. And sightseeing is okay too, but I like this part. All right, so let's just come right here. Whoa, whoa, stop, stop, stop. Oh my gosh. Set the parking brake. Push the heading bug to line up with us in case I screw something up. And let's not stall. Autopilot? We'll worry about autopilot if we're going to get there. Do we have a clock in this? No, we don't. I have to look at my real life clock, which doesn't always agree. Alrighty. We're going to take off now. So let's do this view. Release the parking brake. And away we go. Sorry if there's audio bleed. I don't wear headphones because it gives me a headache. So we're just going to try to stay in the middle of the runway as best as we can. And we have liftoff. And we're good. So gear coming up. Flaps coming up. And what do we have for climb out here? Fuel pump off, landing lights off. Climb at 90 knots. We're at 80 knots, so let's trim down a little bit. So we can climb down. Let's turn this fuel pump off. And landing lights. There we go. All right, what do we need to do? That's it. Once we get to cruise, we'll bring back props and throttle, but we're actually not really going to get that high. Let's hop outside a second. Our door's not... Our door didn't close all the way. I'm just going to let you enjoy that for a moment. It's not supposed to let it latch if it isn't closed all the way. There, it worked. Okay. Who is on duty for confirming the latch? Whose job was that? You had one job. Okay, first of all, I really need to get on our GPS track, but I really want to sightsee. See, it's all screwed up. We need to turn around, and I don't want to because it's so beautiful. Whoops, I can't really do this at the same time. Let's just enjoy the scenery for a minute as we make our turn back to the north. That is just insanely awesome. Look at that. Wow. So as far as the Flight Simulator 2020 thing, I know the eye candy has already been proven just in the, pre-alpha stuff. But what about the systems? And what about this airport? What about all the other details? The flight dynamics are supposed to be good, but are they? Are the systems really modeled? Is it going to be like an arcade, like when I learned to fly with FS 2000, 2004, and FSX? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. I'm taking a whole bunch of screenshots. That's why it's stalling a little bit. Wow. That's west, obviously, because the sun is setting. What an awesome sunset flight. We're just going to goof off around here a little bit. All right, where are we in altitude? 3,000. We don't want to go much higher because we have to get down to 3,000. So let's do our cruise now. Let's do throttles on 23 and props to 22. So 23 and 22, they kind of work together. There's 23 and 22. There we go. Just creep it up to 24. There we go. We'll let that settle in. And we'll just hang out at 3,500, I guess. All right. So the rest is destination. That's it for the cruise checklist. All right. Let's figure out this GPS, see if I can stay straight enough. We might just have to hand fly while let me get past that hold, because what we need to do while we're turning is we need to go past that. We need to go direct to there. Okay, can I delete this? What if I go like this? No. Can I? Are we still turning? Yep. Can I delete that? No. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens when we get there, I guess, because it says the hold and it shows the hold, but we don't want to hold. We want to go beyond. And we don't want to direct to that next waypoint because we'll be too far down the path. So, okay, we're at 4,000. We're climbing really badly. So let's work our way down to 3,000. And let's get where we're supposed to go. Because right now we're just going in circles over the water, which is very beautiful, but that's not what we're supposed to be doing. Just look at this. Look at this gorgeous scenery. Oh my gosh, more screenshots. Okay. All right, let's fly plane like we're supposed to. Let's just head towards our GPS track here. I could use autopilot with heading bug to do some sightseeing, but I'm going to try to hand fly during the sightseeing. So let's get on our track, and then I'll give you some sightseeing, and then in 38 miles, or 38 nautical miles, whatever, I will get back with you. But first, let's fly this part together. Let's try to get on that track best as we can. There we go. A little bit more so you can get there with brevity. Alrighty. I want to fly parallel to this track a little bit. Then once we get towards Ozo, we'll see what the GPS does. I'm curious. I'm curious if it's going to send us in a holding pattern or if it'll let us move on to the next waypoint. Or when I'm close enough, I can just go direct to the next waypoint. I just can't go direct to the next waypoint now because we'll be cutting our approach way too short. So anyway, I'll see you in 36.7 miles. Alright, it's time to prepare ourselves here. So we're lined up on the GPS track, but we also climbed 2,500 feet. So we need to enter the approach at 3,000, and then by the Nemski waypoint, we have to be at 1,380. So it's time to come down. We need to also check a few things here. We need to get our destination weather, because obviously the weather just updated on us, which is nice. But we need to see if anything else changed. So let's bring up this here as we start coming down. I don't know why the weather totally screwed up something and now we're bouncing all over the place. Still says light variable. Is that accurate? It is 29 though on the barometer. Let's zoom in here and go 29. Alrighty, let's start descending. So what do we need to do to descend? Props forward, Landing lights on. Approach at 110 knots. Now we're coming down. Don't want to come down that much. Approach at 110 knots. Throttles back to 15. Fuel pump on at 1,000 feet AGL. Okay, we got a lot to go through, but not quite yet. Let's just start descending here, because we have a long ways to come down. Alrighty, so, whoa, some turbulence. Lots of turbulence. Stuff's updating, I guess. What do we have here? Yeah, pretty soon we'll just skip that waypoint. I don't want to deal with figuring out that hold stuff. Where are we? I can't really see. Now we're descending like crazy. We're in some IMC, so make sure you use your gauges, because if you look, we're descending like super steeply and people are getting a headache. There we go. That's better. Keep it under control. Keep it under control. We're above water and we're in the clouds, so it's very, very difficult to orientate yourself, so you have to use your gauges. See how we were turning a little bit? Alright, very nice. We'll descend to about 3,000 feet. We don't quite need to be at 3,000 feet just yet, because we have 10 minutes to go. But we will, we'll just get down there and stay there. Alright, we're about 2 minutes out from our waypoint. So instead of going direct to Cupid, we are going to see what happens. Because I keep telling it to go direct to Obsaf, but instead it keeps going back to hold. So I want to see what happens. Is it going to skip the hold, or is it going to make us hold? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here. I'm going to turn on autopilot to Omni, and it should take us now to follow the GPS path. Yes. And then I'm not gonna, well, I guess we can do altitude hold, because at Cupid is be 3,000 also, and then down to 1380. So it's at 3,000 now. Let's hit the secret button. That should hold our altitude. Okay, let's see what this does. I'm very curious. Okay, is it gonna turn us to Cupid, or is it gonna make us do a hold pattern? There's a little IA here. I don't know what that means. Because the hold is before Obzav on the flight plan. So let's see what happens here. Anything? Hold direct. No. It's gonna make us hold. Are we gonna do this sharp turn and hold backwards? Oh, ish. That's even crazier than I thought. You all saw it. I said go direct to Obzav, which is after the hold, but I kept putting us back in the hold anyway. Well, let's make everybody really, really dizzy then, and let's go to Cupid direct. That'll work. That'll work. Let's see how this handles it. Yep, it's gonna turn us back that way. What a mess. I don't know why it does that. I could understand if hold were after Obzav, or if I could delete the hold, but I couldn't delete the hold. I wanted to delete Obzav. So why does it do that? I don't know. Oh, I wonder if it's gonna bring, no, that's lateral. I'm gonna say maybe it'll descend us. I don't think it'll descend us. We can try. If it doesn't descend us, I'll take over. I'm just really curious. And it is really nice to have autopilot now, because I have to say flying in IMC is exhausting. Hand flying in IMC is exhausting. Hand flying when you can do completely VFR and you can see everything, that's okay, because you have the gauges and you can see what you're doing. But when you're relying on gauges 100%, because this is all you see, it is very exhausting to hand fly, I must say. So I'm very relieved right now to be using autopilot, to be honest. Yes, I am. Set course to 331. Set course to 331. 330. It's not the right one. That's not what that wasn't the right one. It's supposed to be this one. 3, 3, 1, 3. Oh, that's not over the front of 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3, 4, 3, 3, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There. Let's see what happens. There's space near the head. I don't care. All right. So is it going to descend us? Because, well, we have our GPS. I don't know if we're going to get a glide slope or not. I don't expect to. Just as lateral, but maybe that'll change. It's a big day full of experimentation, isn't it? For such a quick, simple flight. We're doing a lot today. So I apologize for the length, kind of the video. What do we need to do? Fuel pump on 1000 AGL, which we're not quite yet. Approach at 110 knots. We're 115. And then flaps at 185, and then 75. 185, 75 for flaps. Approach at 110. Touchdown at 75. Gear down, fuel pump on. Let's turn the fuel pump on now, because I'm going to forget. It's just a matter of gear and flaps. We'll do gear in a minute. We'll do gear at Cupid. And we have to be down to 1380 by Nemkey. Alright, looks like we do have a glide slope here coming down. The question is, will the autopilot follow the glide slope? That's my question. We'll see here in a second. I don't expect it to, but it could. And it looks like we're going to blow through the glide slope, which is what I expected to happen. Of course. Okay, so let's turn off autopilot. And let's hand fly this thing. Let's bring back manifold. Let's put props forward. Let's put gear down. And we're just going to follow our arrows, right? Our 2 lines right there. Just keep them in the crosshairs. And everything should be okay. There we go. We're on the glide slope. Those are really all the weather updates. Something dramatic just happened. And I lost control. That was the weather updating. Nice. It's getting dark and the clouds are heavy. Trim this thing back because I'm really yanking back on the yoke. First set of flaps. And I cannot see the runway in sight, so we have to follow those crosshairs entirely. Let's keep our speed up, so pitch down for speed, but throttles, so we quit descending so quickly. We gotta get level here because we're way below the glide slope. Oh my gosh, I haven't hand flown. I know this isn't an ILS approach technically, but I haven't hand flown an approach like this using these gauges in a very, 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 very long time. Well, I don't even know the runway heading. That's my problem. Also, it's 33 something, 331, I think. So we gotta come back here and line up with our lines because I forgot the 331 parts are going to line up slowly. If you S-curve too much, just can go all out of whack. So we're going to do 331 quickly. We're at 3.5, 3.4, 3.31 is about there. We're way below glide slope. Throttle, so we stop descending. Keep our pitch the same, so we keep the same speed. And I don't know where the runway is. Do I have my course wrong? I might have my course wrong. We're way below glide slope. Throttles. Pitch up to slow down. Throttle so that we stop descending until we get on the glide slope. Let's just stay steady till we get on the glide slope. Runway's way to the left. It says on our little gauges, way to the left. I am really out of practice. I haven't done this in years. I've either done VFR, so completely visual approaches, or I've done like ILS GPR, like, you know, the autopilot does it for me. I have not hand flown an approach like this where it's fogged in a very, 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 very long time. Okay, we're lined up here. Let's get back to 331. Alrighty. And, oh, there's a runway. I did it. I did it! Yay! It wasn't very smooth, but we did it. And we're on the glide path now, and looks like we've got a crosswind from the right. So we'll want to do right wing down, left rudder, right main touches first with the firm touchdown. Okay, we're on the glide slope now, so let's do 500. Let's bring back throttles to descend. And keep our pitch the same. Ooh, look at that, so beautiful. And we're going to do second set of flaps now. That'll cause us to float. Throttles down to keep that descent, to see how we're off the glide path now. And this is our touchdown speed, so let's pitch down for speed and throttle so we don't descend. Alright, let's just, I know I can see the runway, but let's try to use those arrows. Well, considering I haven't done that in a couple years, and I jumped right into fogged in, that was almost fogged in, right down to minimums. That was pretty much minimums, 1380, that was very close to minimums. And I hand flew the whole thing. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit, not too much. I know it wasn't wonderful, but it's been a very long time. And we're getting blown around. Full sets of flaps now. It's going to make us float. Throttles back so we descend. Keep our pitch the same so we don't pitch down a little bit. We want to be at 75 when we touch down. We're getting at 70. It's a little slow. Is that rain? No, I don't think so. I think it's just foggy. All right, we're going to look out the window now. Yeah, it is raining. And get that speed up. And aim for those numbers a little bit, and we'll land long. But here we go, right wing, left rudder, throttles back, firm touchdown, firm. There we go, straighten out, and the wind's blowing us. Slow down, slow down, slow down, slow down. Very nice crosswind landing. Awesome, flaps coming in. Let's recover on our rudders here. I don't have to hit the flaps that many times, I know. And let's get off this runway. I love crazy, stressful landings. Oh my goodness. Oops, I'm trying to use my yoke like a steering wheel again. Let's get out of the way here, and then we'll shut this thing down properly. It looks like we don't have a stop line at this airport. Or is this way over there? Is this way over here? Alright, no taxi lights, so let's keep our landing lights on for a moment. And let's stop right here just a second and set that parking brake, because we have a few things to do since we don't have peripheral vision. Stop the clock, which I realized I meant timer, which I totally didn't do because I was actually looking for a clock. Landing lights off, anti-collision off. We're gonna keep that on right now because it's so dark. Flaps up, yes. Fuel pump off, yes. Pitot heat off, yes. So now we just go to our hangar of choice, which I think we're just gonna go right over to GA. So let's that was weird. See that panning? That's not frame rate stutter, because look how smooth it is now. See how smooth it is now. So let's just go over here, and these might be a little small, but we'll stop right. Actually, let's go on the grass. And then they'll just dolly us to where they want us. So here we are, back on land. Welcome to Detroit. Part of the sightseeing I wanted to do was seeing how the skyline was modeled and the density of the buildings in default AutoGen, but we didn't get to because of the IMC. But you know what? The weather was way more exciting, I have to say. Way more exciting. All right, let's see here. Parking brake is set. Yes, avionics off. Let's start down here and turn that off. Off, off. Everything comes off. And does this turn off? It does. Throttles to idle and the R. Mixture cutoff, and it is. Megs to off. All remaining lights off. Alternator to off. Battery to off. Fuel tank selector to off. Oh, my flashlight's on. What button's my flashlight? That one? No, which button's my flashlight? Not that one. Hang on. Hang on. Not that one either. Isn't this my flashlight button? My flashlight is stuck on. My flashlight got demapped. Where's white flashlight on here? I can't remember because I always had it. No, that's the red one. Really? Oh well, I'm gonna have to remap it, I guess. We'll worry about that later. Alrighty, open doors. So we come up here and we go like this, and we come like this, and we go like this. And like, really? You're not gonna open for me? There we go. Okay. And let's hop outside with my flashlight. That's really funny. Let's go out here and open and shocks. There you go. Whoops, wrong one. I meant this one. There. There we go. All right. Not a very smooth approach, but I was able to follow some little lines and arrows after years of not doing it that way. Talk about being out of practice. Good grief. But we had some unexpected fun, and now it's raining. Look at that. Raining, probably cold, and it's dark. And we landed with a great crosswind landing, and we got our approach under control. And that was way more fun than I was expecting it to be. I'm going to be preparing a very large flight next, and I'll catch you next time.